Welcome to DWS, Drinking While Sober, where we could be free and in control. Many of you may be asking, how is that even possible? Honey, I didn't say what we was drinking. Welcome to DWS, Drinking While Sober. This is season 4, episode 1, Making the Right Turn with a mother, a veteran, and a wife, Brandy Jefferson. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Tell my audience a little about yourself.
Well, my name is Brandy Jefferson. I am a veteran. I served in the military for 21 years. I got out in 2019, married with 4 children to another service member. I currently work as a GS civilian at the United States Army Reserve Command.
Yes. Okay, so tell me, our first question, let's just get into it.
Okay.
What does making the right turn mean to you?
Well, making the right turn for me means when you transition from one job to another. So in my case, I retired. Transition to something that you like, just as in your previous job, and something that it's legal, too, and you can still provide for your family. That's making the right turn. What's making the right turn means to me.
I would think so too. How do you know you made the right turn? Like, how did you know you made the right turn?
Well, I know because what I do right now is fun to me. I always wanted to, weirdly enough, before I wanted to be a hand model, I always wanted to work in the office. So back in the day when I was a kid, I used to watch this show called Designing Women. Old show, man.
Yeah, I ain't heard that one.
Yeah, they worked in a corporate office. I'm showing I'm telling my age now. So they worked in a corporate office, and it was always dressed up all the time, and everything that they did on the show looked like it was important. So I was like, you know what? One day I want to work in a corporate office. I want to do something just like that. Because my dreams of being hand model was over. Because my hands look crazy for being in the military.
Who shut you down from being a hand model?
I shut my own self down. It's just not feasible. So, so after that, I just wanted to be like the people on Designing Women, work in a cool office, have my own desk, and do cool stuff.
Well, that's pretty cool. So, did you see yourself where you are today? Because I know growing up, you want to be the hand model. So, did you see who you are today?
Absolutely not. So when I got to high school our high school didn't have a lot of extracurricular activities because it was a poor, predominantly Black school in the South. So when I got to high school, we had our first year of junior ROTC. So I did that, and I was like, "Oh, this is fun." Doing the drill and flipping my little weapon and, doing drill and ceremonies. And I was like, is this what the Army is like? Not knowing that it's not really like that at all.
No.
But it was fun to me. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to make this my career. But no, looking back now, no, I definitely did not think I was going to be where I am right now.
Wow. Hey, we got something in common. I did JRTC too. And I thought the same thing when I got to college. I was like, dang, RTC gonna be the same as I did in high school. It wasn't. They was paying me. So I said, sign me up immediately. Okay, I got another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you balance being a mother, wife, and working, even when you was a soldier? How did you balance all that?
It was a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because we were doing military at the time, so there were times we were deployed together, or times we would be in the field together. So obviously we had to depend on family members to help us out with our children if we were deployed to different locations at the same time. Just a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and prayer is how I did it. Because I think back on those times now, and I'm like, man, I can't believe I did that. Because at one time it was all four of my children with me.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It was rough.
Yeah, that's a lot to deal with. I can only imagine. Cause I'm like, I don't want no kids. You got four of them, and you like, oh no, I gotta do
Yep.
this. Then you gotta
So
provide. You gotta feed them. You gotta make sure they take care of. They got clothes. That's a lot.
absolutely. And
It,
unfortunately, as a young soldier with that many children, the money that I was making at the time really wasn't enough. But you know, trying to get assistance as far as like food stamps or anything made too much. I remember when I had my third child, I went to the food stamp office because I was struggling.
yeah.
And I applied for, I think I either applied for WIC or food stamps. And they said that I made 1 penny too much.
One whole penny. That's it.
For 1 penny. And therefore I couldn't get assistance. So it was rough. I'm not going to lie to you,
See,
but I made
I would have been on the pole at night. I ain't gonna lie.
it. There's so many times I swear, like I was like, I don't, and I wanted to get out, but as time goes on in the military, once you get past 10 years, you might as well just
You
stay.
might as well finish. The time go by so fast, you blink and there it is. So
Yep. So
I was doing a little
mhm,
research and I found this article on 11 tips to help balance your work and family life. Okay, it's
mhm,
by Jennifer. And something she said that really like stood out to me. Learn when to say no.
mm.
How hard is that for you? Like, is that a good tip that she provided?
Yes, it is. Me as a so just from my lifestyle, how I grew up, I never did a really good job of saying no until I got older, probably like in my late 30s. It's very important to learn how to say no. Um,
Yes,
Being fresh
totally.
from the country, because I'm from the country, I'm from Alabama. We didn't have a lot of people living close to us. We didn't interact with a lot of people outside of my town. So when I got to my first duty station, I thought everybody was nice. And obviously, I was severely taken advantage of as a young soldier. So having those boundaries set before you venture out into the world is definitely a plus if that's something you can do.
I'm glad you brought up boundaries because that's one of the tips. One of the tips is establish boundaries and unplug. Like
Mhm.
unplug yourself for 24 hours. Have you done that? Like, do you work 7 days a week, or do you unplug and be like, okay, I need a moment. You got to spend time with your family, or you separate the two?
So when I was in the military, I would walk through the door and take my uniform off. I never lingered in my uniform, and
Hmm.
I would cook, feed my kids, do homework, and then my decompress time would be after I put them to bed. So from 7 until the next morning was my time to kind of unplug. And I still do that now. I'll come home, I'll take my work clothes off, get on my phone, play some Monopoly Go because I love that game. I don't know why. Watch a little anime. I've been doing that for over 20 years now, and that's kind of my decompress time.
Yes, that's your comfort zone.
It
Well,
is.
some people it's hard for them to accept like failures and setbacks. So one of the tips on here is like your willingness to accept setbacks. So in your career, have you ever had any setbacks and how did you deal with it?
Um, I never really had any. Well, yeah, I did. I didn't make E5 at the time that I wanted to make E5. Not E5, but E6, which is a staff sergeant for the people that are not military. So it was rough trying to get past it because I am not good at accepting failure. I like to be successful at anything that I put my hands in. And when I'm not, it's just not a good space for me. But I'm working through that now through therapy. So I just encourage people to, if failure is a part of life, period. There's no
Yeah.
getting around it. Um And it's something that you have to learn how to cope with. And if you can learn how to cope with it early in life, again, just like setting boundaries, that's really a plus once you venture out into the world.
You said something that was key is therapy. Man, our little brownie browns don't like getting therapy. We
We need
like,
it.
for my black people out there that's listening, we do not like getting therapy. And I'm one of them people. I'm speaking about it and I'm one of them. I should get therapy and I should be like, I can handle it, I can do it. And then the world come crashing down and now I'm crying in the corner somewhere. Don't know why I'm
And
crying in the
I
corner.
used to do that a lot. I mean, medication and therapy has helped me out a lot, along with going to the gym and having the right type of people in my life. It's hard to find the right type of people, but when you do, you need to hold on to them, especially
Yeah.
the people who are very positive. But so therapy has really been helping me out. I don't know if I've been doing that since I was in the military, because me being in the military is mentally exhausting. It's
That is
very
definitely
tough.
true.
Yes, it's very tough on your mental health. So I spent a lot of time working through that, and I continue to do it as I get out of the military. That and just using my little decompression techniques that I've learned throughout life to um, kind of help with that.
Yes, my last question for you before you tell the people, something nice, something to motivate them. When you got out the military, how did you choose the career you have today?
Initially, I didn't. So I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Every job that I've gotten since I've gotten out of the military, I never initiated a application for it. So I set up my LinkedIn profile in such a way that people would be able to easily find me through my qualifications. And my two first jobs I got through LinkedIn. Somebody just hit me up in my inbox. I was like, sure, why not? And I did it. So my first job getting out was an instructor position here on Fort Bragg. I didn't really want to do it, but at the time I was like, well, a little extra money wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
So my second job um, is in the same place that I'm working in right now as a GS civilian. And the job was to build process maps. If you know me, you know I'm a nerd. I have to have
Yeah.
something that's
We got something in common.
it has to be challenging, or I feel like my time is being wasted. So I wasn't in that particular job. There because I extra money. Um, the job wasn't challenging enough for me. So when the opportunity came to take on a GS position, I moved over into that position. Now it's a little bit more challenging, but again, if you know me, I welcome a challenge when it comes to work. And I'm a bit of a nerd for the people that don't
Yes.
know out
Don't
there.
you have your
So
real estate license too?
yeah, I do have my real estate license. I try to put my hand and learn as many different trades as I possibly can. You never know how to come in, handy one day. So I'm a lifelong learner. So I always try to stay on top of what's next. A lot of people ask me all the time, well, how do you know all these stuff? You got to keep learning. It doesn't matter how old you are. You got to keep.
Yes, get in them books. Learn something.
Exactly.
You can even watch YouTube nowadays. YouTube
Yep. YouTube
University.
University. Yep.
As far as my people, if they want to buy a house, if they want to link in with you, where they find you at?
Well, you can find me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. If you want to find me on Facebook, it's Williamson-Jefferson Brandy on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Brandy J underscore 19. And my Facebook page, my professional Facebook page is Brandy Jefferson at Exit Realty. So if you looking for a house in the Fayetteville, the surrounding areas, North Carolina, hit me up.
Yes. So we talked about careers, and I found another article. You said reading is fundamental, and you
It
said,
is.
you got to learn some things, got to get that knowledge. So for those out there who need to choose a career, there are 7 steps. You can perform a self-assessment. Is that something that you did? Did you perform your self-assessment, see what direction you wanted to go in and what you wanted to do?
Well, when I got out, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was kind of lost. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Because after you spend so much time in the military, you kind of programmed to think a certain way.
Yeah.
So once you get out, there is some deprogramming you have to go through because the person that you were when you first came in, that person is no longer the same person. I don't care how many people say it is, it's not. You are not the same person. The military changes you. So when I got out, I had to kind of find myself again. So I guess in that way, I did kind of perform a self assessment of, okay, what is it that you really want to do? What are your best skills? What are you good at? Sorry about that. That's my computer. What are you good at? So I'm really good at computers. I'm really good at any word type of products. So I knew I wanted to kind of venture into something that would allow me to be the complete nerd that I like to be.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So number two is identify your must-haves. I haven't really thought about this, but like, what must you have, in a career? Like, what do I want? I guess that's what they mean. Identify your must-haves.
Well, I wanted a specific salary. I wanted to, yep, I wanted to still be able to travel. But the
Amen.
position that I'm in right now still allows me to be able to travel. And I still wanted to be able to spend a lot of time at home. So it kind of had the perfect balance for me. I still get to travel. I get paid what I want to get paid. And I'm at home enough to be able to support my kids in college, my adult children, and then my daughter that's in high school.
Yes. The third one was make a list of jobs to explore. Like, I don't even have a list, and I know that one day the military gonna be done, right? I have not thought about, well, I actually have thought about what I want to do, and that's not work for anybody. I want to be an entrepreneur. But I'm
Well,
like, what if I had a job? What would it be? I don't have a list.
I didn't have a list either. Initially, I was like, well, maybe I'll just try to go into something that had something to do with my field when I was in the military. And then I realized I didn't really like my field when I was in the military.
Right.
So I decided after a time of doing what I did when I was in the military, I was like, you know what? Let's just go in a completely separate direction from what I did was in while I was in the military, and I actually ended up enjoying it. So no, I didn't have a list of jobs, but I had a list of skills that I wanted to be able to present at my new job.
Dang, that's smart. That is really smart. So I'm gonna name the last four is because we already talked about some of these. The last four is research jobs and employers. Get training. Training is important, y'all. We
It
already
is.
said that. Find and apply for a job and continue growing and learning.
Mm-hmm.
Growing and learning is very important.
It's key.
Key to life. So if you could say anything to your younger self, what would you say?
Um, Probably believe in yourself. Don't doubt yourself, and um, let your yes be yes and your no be no.
Well, this concludes our interview.
You're
Thank you. Thank you for
welcome.
coming.
Y'all have an awesome day.
Bye. And if anybody tell you you are not human enough, guess what? You are.
You are. Bye, guys.